Greetings, grasshoppers. Welcome to the Bot Signal today. This is your RJ, and today I have brought you a guest that will not only inspire you, yes, in 2020, always, but also we're going to talk about sharks, and also we'll probably talk a little bit about Bob Ross, because you know what? We're just going to be all over the place today. But I want to tell you the story of how I met this person. We were on a mastermind together, and I was like, oh my, yeah, I wrote myself a note. Get a hold of the lady with the sharks in the background. I mean, it was, I knew at first sight that we needed to be friends. And now, boom, we're like this. And she's going to talk to you about some real important stuff today. So everybody, please do welcome Dr. Stevie Dawn. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, RJ?
I am so good. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Everybody, Dr. Stevie Dawn Carter she speaks everywhere all the time. She has her own events. She has everything going on. And gosh, I really wanted people to meet you and just really talk about you and what you do. So could you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do? Give us the basics.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Stevie Dawn, named after Stevie Nicks. Very, very important. And I live in Mansfield, Texas. I've lived all over the world. This is where I ended up, met my husband. Now I'm tied to the anchor that is here and family, right? So Texas girl from here on out, but I love it. So there will probably be some y'alls in my statement because that happens. But I'm a 4-time business owner. I've created multi-million-dollar success in all kinds of areas: fine art, dancing, business, and now speaking and coaching. So I'm a motivational speaker and a mindset coach. And professionals hire me to help them unleash unstoppable success, because most, RJ, and I know we're going to talk about this today, most have dreams that they haven't realized, they haven't lived them, or even worse, they've let their dreams be hijacked by somebody else. And so I help them to create a magnetic mindset, to have bold confidence, to cast a remarkable vision for their future. Because bottom line, we need to start living a life that defies expectations. And that's what I want to do. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Oh, and I should always say, I served in the U.S. Marine Corps. I danced on the Las Vegas Strip. I'm addicted to coffee, red wine, and sharks, but probably not in that order.
Beautiful. That is so fantastic, darling. Gosh, where to start? You were talking about, your dreams being hijacked by someone else. I know that you have had this experience yourself. Was that what motivated you to get into what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think, I know we're both theater rats. I grew up on the stage. I grew up, both parents were singers and performers. My dad, still in his 70s, performs music every day of the week. So I grew up on a stage, and I grew up in the spotlight performing. I loved it. And my dream was always to be a dancer, whether that was on Broadway or with the Rockettes, although I wasn't tall enough, or wherever that took me. That was going to be my dream. And everybody told me that was great. Yeah, go do that. You're brilliant at it. Awesome. And then I had an injury that took me out of that world and said, nope, you can't do that anymore. Okay, what's next for me? And when I got to the what's next for me conversation in my mid-20s, what I realized is everybody's answers had changed. Instead of be anything, do it, you're great at it, it was get a good job, make sure it has benefits. It was like all of a sudden I had to go back to school. I had to get a degree. I had to get the big girl job, right? I had to wash my face, pay my bills, have health insurance. And these were all things that I was like, okay, this is what people are telling me to do, but it's not making me happy, right? I lost my zest. I lost my love of life. And so eventually I had this kind of realization of I have checked all these boxes that people tell you in life means success and happiness, and I wasn't happy, and I didn't feel all that successful. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded again, and this is important, by my family who used to tell me, go off, be whatever you can be. And so they started saying that again. Hey, if you want to do something different, go for it. If you want to try something out, try it. And I think that's why I became so impassioned. Then if I was going to get out in the world and do something new, I was going to share that message with other people, because I can't be the only one who is trying to check every box and then realizing it didn't lead me to where I wanted to be. I knew that that wasn't the thing, right? We tell people to live outside the box or to think outside the box. In reality, people need to realize there is no box that can hold them. And we need to stop trying to fit into somebody else's boxes. And I think we do that with our dreams, right? All of a sudden, a mom becomes, well, I don't have dreams as a mom anymore. My dreams are for my kids. And that's wonderful. And then at some point, those kids are going to have dreams of their own and families of their own. And now those women are stuck going, wait, what do I want? Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? And so I really want people to start dreaming again. I have a whole course just on how to dream as an adult, because it's actually a lot harder than it used to be, is what I've learned. But I want people to have that. I want people to stop letting their dreams be hijacked by all these other things in society. And let's get back to that feeling of you can do the impossible. You can do hard things. You can try to be an astronaut in your 40s. Why not? Right? Elon Musk is sending people to space. You can be in your 40s and be an astronaut nowadays. So there's no limits on us. And we need to get back in that, because I think that's where innovation, creativity, and passion come from, is that idea of impossibility being possible. So yeah, I think that's why I do that, because it happened to me and it sucked. So I don't want it to happen to anybody else, you know?
That's right. Well, I mean, and when you told me that story the first time, it really resonated with me, because that is exactly what happened. I mean, I was once in corporate America, not a fit. All right. Not a fit.
Yeah.
And I can see now that, and yes, I went to school. I almost, except for 2 classes, in my entire bachelor's plus 2 master's career, I had 2 B pluses, and that was it. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm going to get a big girl job. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to change the world. I have this odd talent with computers, and I'm sure that that'll fit in there somewhere. And you know what? It doesn't fit in an office job. It doesn't fit for me. And man, this is actually but many businesses later and many failures later.
Yep.
Here I am. There ain't no box. Oh my gosh, there ain't no box. And and it's time. It's time now more than ever. And talking about 2020 a little bit, I think that with people, a lot of people lost their jobs or are on the edge of losing that, jobs in pandemic. And there are a lot of people that work from home and are thinking about side gigs or thinking about leaving their corporate gigs. Yeah. Everybody's online right now. And I think that people are finally seeing possibilities they've never seen, because they're no longer stuck in the office. At least that's my hope.
It opens your horizons, right? Because all of a sudden you don't have to drive there every day and do the things. And so people are starting to think a little differently and think a little bigger. And, so many of my clients, the first thing we do in a conversation call is just, what did you used to want? Right? Just that question. And I would encourage everybody to think about it. What did you used to want? What did you used to want to be? What did you used to want to eat? What did you used to want to do? Like, what did you used to want? And at what point did you decide that was no longer what you wanted? Because what I have found is, so often in life, we let others decide for us. Right? And then we're no longer making those decisions. Like, what made me decide I didn't want to eat Oreo cookies for breakfast? Well, somebody else told me it was a bad idea. But you know what? I'm an adult now. If I want to eat my Oreo cookies for breakfast, I'm going to do it, which actually isn't the case. I don't do the Oreo cookies. I do a Starbucks, which with as much whipped cream and chocolate that's in it, it probably is worse than the Oreos because it's not coffee, right? But, you know.
No, it's a cup of balance.
Yes.
It's a cup of balance.
It's about balance. And I think that, you know, we do that, right? We start letting other people make decisions for us. We start letting our boss make decisions for you, right? When you're in corporate America, your boss tells you, oh, I don't think you're right for this promotion, or, oh, I don't think you're the right fit for that client. And while that can make perfect sense, are you going home and going, you know what? Maybe there's another opportunity for me. Maybe there's something I need to show my boss that my boss hasn't seen yet. You know, we let what other people say define us. Yeah. And I think then we're releasing our own control. And I'm with you. I think in 2020, I definitely have felt like 2020 took the shackles off. Even me, who lives kind of outside my own world anyway, I felt more than ever the ability to do what I wanted and to chase my dreams this year. Because I didn't have to fit in those molds of timing and space and locations. I could do so much more, right? I could put shark pictures behind me on every single webinar I do, whether I'm talking to a Fortune 500 company or I'm running my coaching program, they're going to see sharks behind me. When I go out to facilitate, they don't necessarily see sharks unless I make a big thing of it, right? They usually are just seeing me dressed in business attire. So this has allowed me, right? This new space, to your point of being online, this has allowed me to truly embrace me. And I hope other people are doing that this year too. This was the year to get true with yourself. And let's break out of that then next year. And let's do all those things that we always used to dream we could do, because anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Mm-hmm. And, you know, back to your point of letting others define you. I have been told you're just not a leader. You can't really manage people. Right. We're going to stick you over the corner in here. And you can do these things, but we're not going to let you have anything important. And I get it. You know, I also had the incredibly good fortune of being, the management wasn't real keen on RJ, but I did have a team, where my salesperson in charge of the team, let me experiment and let me have my head and create in many situations. That proved to me that I could do it. And then of course, you know, from there to here has been a few steps, but, you know, gosh, so when you see people stuck, when you see people, you know, when people come to you and ask for help, what is the biggest mistake that you see people making that they don't even know they're making?
I think ruts. I think we get stuck in ruts and in expectations we believe are there, but actually aren't there, right? Like to your point, you said earlier, I only got 2 B+. Whose expectation was it? For you to get all A's, right? It was yours, right? Were you actually letting anybody down if you got a C? Probably not. You were maybe letting yourself down, and maybe you have really high standards for yourself, which is great. But I think that's what happens to us, right? The biggest thing I see is people come and they're like, well, I can't start a side hustle. I don't have time. I don't know. I think not having time is an excuse. I think what you don't have is the energy. And what we need to find you is the energy, because time, there's always enough time to watch TV. There's enough time to have a side hustle, right? People come and they'll say things like, well, my boss isn't letting me step up into management positions. Okay, fair. I can't control your boss. Please, everybody hear me listening right now. If you come to me, I can't control your boss. I wish I could. I wish I had a magic wand and I could fix every boss in the world. I can't do that. But what I can do is say, hey, have you thought about volunteering at a nonprofit where you can get into a leadership position on the board? and learn those leadership skills and network and get new opportunities. Like, let's start thinking outside the box. Let's stop thinking I go to work, I do my job, I come home, I make dinner, I go to sleep. Who said that is the perfect life?
Oh,
right?
holy moly.
And that's the thing. We're letting other people, we're saying to ourselves, well, they expect that of me, or that's what's expected of me. And my question to you is, who actually expects that? I think we think people do because it gives us some safety. It lets us play small. Because, well, I think my family expects me to do this, so I got to be over here. Go ask your family. Your family probably wants you to have the best life possible. And if that meant that you wanted to dye a strand of your hair pink and still go to the office every day, you could probably get away with it, right? Because that's what people want for you. But it's like we say into our own head to keep ourselves small, well, but they expect this or they expect that. One of the first questions I ask people is, who actually has those expectations? Is it you or is it them? Because we like to blame things on others, but it's really all us. That's why mindset is the game changer, right? That's why for me, sharks, right? Sharks were a game changer mindset-wise for me, right? So I think my parents took me to see Jaws when I was like 4, which is really silly. I mean, really, I'm not going to judge them now because it turned out really great. But at the moment, it was kind of like, why take a 4-year-old? Because then I wouldn't go in water. I wouldn't go in lakes. I wouldn't go in oceans. I was a swimmer, so I would get in the pool, but only if I could see the deep end. So when the deep end got too deep, I wouldn't go. There's a shark down there or piranha or some other creature of the deep, right? I couldn't do it. So I actually did go swimming in an ocean. I went to the beach all the time. I would not go swimming in the ocean until my mid-20s because of Jaws. Jaws scared me, right?
Yeah.
And people are always like, how could Jaws scare you when you're a shark addict now? Well, my life changed, right? And that's because I was, and I'll make it a shorter story that it probably should be, but I was in a place where I wasn't doing well. I wasn't moving up. And I called my mom and I'm like, I think I just need to quit. This isn't working anymore. I'm not excelling, right? And my thought was, I'm not capable. Now, was that somebody else's expectation or was that mine? That was mine. Me saying I'm not capable. So she asked me the question, what do they have that you don't have? And I was like, well, I could think of all kinds of things, right? They're smarter, they're better, they're younger, whatever. And she goes, no, I don't think that's it. She goes, I think the difference is they're not trying to prove they belong. They already believe it. You need to be the shark. Those were her words. You need to be the shark. Now, at this point in time, I'm like, I have no idea where my mom is going with this whole conversation. So yeah, mom, be the shark. What? And she said, and she's probably watching today. She watches everything I do. I love you, mom. So she goes, in a shark movie, if you think about a shark movie, sharks don't worry about proving they're the shark. They just own their ocean. They are the predator. They just go around living their life. And people get in the way, but they're going around living their life. She goes, when was the last time you just went out there for you and not for anybody else? And you believe that you owned that space. You should just be the shark. And I was like, yeah, sure, mom. Okay. And then I hung up the phone and, promptly forgot. Until about a couple months later, this was during my dance career. I was at dance competition. I hadn't been doing well. And I had actually told myself, this is probably my last competition. I think I'm going to retire, right? It's just not working. And right before I went out on stage, just randomly, I did this. And I said to myself, be the shark, just randomly. I'm like, what could it hurt, right? I'm already not doing well. What's it going to matter? I won the next 14 competitions that I entered.
Yeah.
And it was all because I thought about it every single day, be the shark. And it became my mantra and it became my spirit animal. And then last year I went cage diving with great white sharks. And I got to see them in their habitat. And it was amazing. And it taught me so much. But be the shark is a mindset. It's the idea that you get to make the decisions on your life, that you own your ocean. And you don't need to worry about the expectations of others. You don't need to worry about the boxes of others. You just need to own your ocean. And I think so much of our life would be better if we had that kind of mindset. And that's why I keep myself surrounded by sharks every day to remind me to get up every day, be the shark. Today I have a broken fin, but I'm still the shark. They have battle scars and they keep swimming. So this is where we're at.
That's so beautiful. Lynn Patton says, good advice from mom. We're getting some advice that you need a shark fin, which I believe you have.
I do. Not in this space right here, but I do have, I got for Christmas one year, now it's become a thing. Everybody buys me sharks because I have sharks everywhere. You can't tell right now, there's just one picture, but that is one of probably 10 to 12 pictures that are in our house. And I have shark USB drives. I have a shark wallet. I have a shark pop socket. I have sharks everywhere. So a couple Christmases ago, my mom found these hoodies that are from Shark Week. I watch Shark Week, by the way, religiously every year. And they have fins built into them, styrofoam fins. And so my husband and I wear them on Halloween. That's our one Halloween costume, is we both have shark fin hoodies. So I do have a shark fin that I could wear. Honestly, it's just a hoodie and it's hot. It's still Texas heat down here, even though it's November. So it's hot. I can't wear it every day.
All right. We do have a question from the audience, from Hovifo 7007. Hello. How to feel less anxious when starting something new. Have any words on that, my friend?
Good question. I think it's really, really hard, right? As an adult, who of us really wants to be a beginner anymore, right? As adults, we kind of just want to skip to the part where we're good at something. We really suck at learning new things, right? We really do. And I think it's a mindset shift. Anytime I'm starting something new, I try and remove a timeline, right? So typically, right, I know that if I want to, write a blog that I don't do it very often, but when I do it, I know it takes me, 20, 30 minutes, whatever the time is. So then if I all of a sudden sit down and say, well, I'm going to write a book, I then kind of try and calculate the time and say, well, if it takes me this long to write blog, then this, but that puts an expectation on yourself, right? That now this book process, which is brand new and I don't know anything about it, is all of a sudden going to be the same as a book. No, it's not, right? So one of the first things we have to do when we start something new is be 100% proud of our newness. Enjoy every mistake. Allow it to take all the time in the world. Because the great thing is that for most of us, if we are starting something new, it doesn't necessarily have to be brilliant tomorrow. We can do it for a year. We can do it for 2 years. We can do it for 10 years. I went back to the dance world after my injury in a new format, and I see people there starting their dancing in their 60s, in their 70s. They're not trying to be Baryshnikov tomorrow. They're working on it because they see it as a journey. And I think we have to, as adults, really, when we're starting something new, we have to take the timeline away, not give yourself a deadline for when it's going to be good, but just enjoy the journey of learning, because number one, learning keeps you younger for longer. So the more you're learning, the less likely you are to die. So let's just keep learning new things and let's be okay with our newness. And one of the things I love about being new is then you can make all the mistakes and all you have to say is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm new. And everybody's like, oh, okay, that's great, right? I still use that in dance. I've been doing it more decades, right, than most people. But I could still say, oh, but I'm new at this. I'm new at this. And they're like, oh, it's okay. Let's show you. Perfect. Because you know what? People want to help each other. People want to help each other. And if they know you're new at something, they're going to help you through it. And that's going to be good for them and good for you. So really enjoy the newness and take out the timeline, right? Which for me in business, and I know RJ probably has a story similar. In business, that was my hardest struggle when I decided to go into business for myself. And I started my first business when I was 17. And when I went into business for myself at 17 and at 28 and at all the ages, I always felt like it should be successful in 3 months, right? Because I'm a badass, so that should happen. I'm a shark, right? Hello. Business takes time. I will tell you, I didn't feel successful. Well, all of my first businesses failed miserably, but my business now, I didn't really feel successful till year 5, and I'm in year 6. So it took time. I was a beginner for a long time in business to finally be at the place now where I feel like I got it figured out, right? And I'm still learning new technology all the time, right? Today we're talking about Twitch, and I'm like, I have no idea, right? How to use that. I'm going to have to be a newbie. I'm going to have to be new at it. So I would just encourage you to ask for help. Number one, enjoy the new, and understand that it's going to take longer than you think, but enjoy that journey, because that means you're still alive and you're still learning. And I think that's a cool place to be. So I don't know, RJ, what you think on that, but.
Yeah, that's I think that's beautiful. Remove the timeline. And for me, I want to be perfect by Thursday. I want to give myself a very little time. Yeah. Gosh. So for me, I think my worst thing is feeling like maybe, well, and this is just a projection thing, but oh my gosh, people are judging me. No, they're not judging me. I'm judging myself. No one else expects me to have it by Thursday.
I had an employee, my last employee, really, before I quit and went out on my own. So my last corporate employee, a gentleman named Dave. God love Dave. If you've ever been on a webinar with me, you've heard stories about Dave. Dave is my favorite employee of all time. Dave, if you ever watch this, I love you to pieces. But Dave used to say, I have to remember, it's not about me. And I thought that was great, because it would be, he would, right, when we first started working together, it was, he would think that people were saying something or judging him or looking at him wrong or something like that, right? And he was making judgments like, oh, they're judging me. Oh, they're judging me. And we used to always have these conversations about, Dave, you're not that important. I'm so sorry to tell you, you are not the center of their universe. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. So they're worried about themselves. You can worry about yourself, right? And so it's not all about you, right? They have lives. I always think about that. I teach a body language class. And one of the things I always say, right, is people take it as if people cross their arms, which of course today I can't do. But if you were to like cross your arms, right, people say, oh, that means you're closed off, or you're not listening, or you're disengaged. Or it means they're cold.
Yeah.
Can we just understand that some people are cold, right? So instead of always thinking somebody's judging me, somebody's disengaging, why don't you actually go in thinking positive thoughts and think, oh, I wonder if they're cold. Maybe I should offer them a blanket. Like, let's turn the whole thing around, because it's not all about us, right? And I do think we go into that. It's so good, RJ. Like, we go into it with everybody's judging me. And I always have to remind myself, I am not the center of anyone else's universe.
Yeah.
Although I think I should be. I'm not.
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I could talk to you all day, but I need to.
Yes, but we have other things we should do, and other people we have to talk to. I have a webinar I have to do in an hour, so it's a thing.
Cool. Well, can you tell my people where to find you, if you've got a freebie, if tell us everything. What's the info on Stevie? Getting a hold of Stevie.
Well, just at Dr. Stevie Dawn everywhere. Because I'm the only one that puts DR in front of my name, because somebody told me once, it's a PhD, by the way, not an MD, so I can't really write you a prescription for Valium. But what I can do is say,
it's okay, my wife's a pharmacist.
That's true. So we can. We're good. We are totally set. But somebody used to tell me, those letters at the end of your name, nobody ever actually reads. So put it all at the front. So you should be called Master RJ. Because, right? So I put the DR in front. So it's Dr. Stevie Dawn everywhere. You can find me that way. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I hang out way too much on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So I'll be there. Feel free to message me. But if everybody just wants to kind of get some more of this mindset stuff and probably see more pictures of sharks, because that happens if you're in my orbit, you can text the word compass. Text the word compass, COMPASS, text the word compass to 66866. 66866. And if you text the word compass to 66866, you'll get my mindset strategies that I use every day and that I use with my clients all the time. You'll also get invited to my free webinars. I do a free webinar every month. Sometimes I do 2 or 3 because I'm feeling sassy. So I would love to have you join me. They're just a way for me to get this message into the world that we need to live our dreams and chase after them. And let's do amazing things together with that. So yeah, get on the list, as it were.
Get on the
but
list,
come find me and
people.
hang out.
I went to one of Dr. Stevie's webinars yesterday, and we had a wonderful time. Great group of people, and so I highly recommend. That was 66866, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. And compass. I just threw it in the comments. I threw it in the comments for all of you. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, highly recommend. One of the neatest people I know. Well, that's all for today.
Mutual. So you're one of the neatest people I know, especially with your Bob Ross t-shirt.
Oh, so. I know. I love them so much. All right. I am gonna tomorrow. Hey, join us. Tomorrow we're gonna have Friday wins. Come report your wins to me, big, small, business, personal. I do not care. We will celebrate every single one of them. 10 a.m. Central, right where you're watching me. And we're gonna say goodbye to Stevie now. Thank you for coming. You're the best. Let's see here. All right. And that's it. So come by for tomorrow. We do it every Friday, and we do it because we need to. Entrepreneurs hardly ever stop to smell the roses and celebrate their accomplishments. So I'm here to help you. Come by, and that's it for me today. Thank you for stopping by, and I'd love to hear from you. If you want. That's it for me, so I will see you in a bot.